Hello, everyone. Oh, today we have another hero, Adeola Disu. Then Rochelle White. Adeola Disu, just slightly before you today. Adeola Disu is the one that is a little bit before Rochelle White today. I will need you to sit here with the short videos this side so that you'll be able to, and you have everything ready. You cannot use that because it will be too. Okay. Hello, Monica, welcome. Anastasia is here. I hope she's in the house. Yeah. Paul Oriade. My song, welcome everyone. Joke Odukoya, welcome, welcome. Toshuku Nebeshi. As you are coming in, please go ahead and share the link to this message. Dupe Love, please go ahead and share the link. Justin Mayo, go ahead and share the link. Idera Nwafo, Nkiro Jimadu, Mufelola Olagbegi, Pastor Alewo Okwa, blessings. Well, I'm going to be doing something very unique and different today. As you are coming in, please go ahead and share the link, like I said. Yeah, Paul was right. Paul is absolutely right. Paul Oriade here is ready for the bombshell tonight. You are absolutely correct. As if you know. Bamidele Iroye, Jane Musaka. Well, I tell you what Paul said now is going to be a big bombshell. Big bombshell today. So get ready for today's bombshell. It's going to be, I'm going to make more people mad today than I've ever done before. Because I'm going to be putting out a lot of stuff out there that are going to be the video proofs of the things I'm talking about. So get ready. Go share the link and we'll be ready to go. So today's topic is how to detect non-truth. Things that are not outrightly maybe clear if they are truth or lie. It's like you cannot really say it's a lie, but on the other hand, you cannot say it's a truth, but they are non-truth. So that's what we've been talking about all this week. And one of the ways to detect them is what I'm going to review today. And that way is check if the assertion or the statement or the practice of these people that you are talking about, especially since we're Christians and we're talking about all the practices in the churches and we're, like against the deceptions in the churches. So I'm mostly basing my teaching on church practices, but really this does not only refer to pertain to church or things like that. It could pertain to politics. It could refer to family life. It could refer to social life. It's just any practices. So these are just principles that I'm giving. So the principle today is how to detect non-truth. You detect non-truth by asking yourself the question, the thing that the person is claiming or whatsoever the person is affirming or practicing, is it logical? But then we Christians will say, well, faith is not logical as well. So, and that, since it's God that is doing it, you cannot expect it to be logical. And that is the excuse that people fall under. And that excuse has really, blocked the eyes of some people. But you will discover that even with God, even when He does miracles, they are miracles. I mean, they are clear. They might not be logical, but at least they are not counter logic. They are not counter logic. So the topic of today is it logical or counter logic? Now, the problem that I've seen in our churches today is that the things that a lot of practices and a lot of the things that people are doing in churches are not only not logical, but they are actually counter logic. Now, it's more serious when it's counter logic. So, you know, and that is not so easy to detect. If anything you see that people are practicing challenges your current status quo thinking, then you must examine it before you just believe it. You must not just swallow it because it is spiritual or because it is church. So if it is not logical, well, that is why God gave us logic, to examine. You've got to examine further. Go ahead and examine it further. Go ahead and do research. And you must now be convinced and be thoroughly convinced that, yes, it's just like with Jesus. You remember when Jesus healed the blind guy in John chapter 9? And then the Pharisees came and saw, this is not normal, this is not logical, that this person is healed. And maybe it's even counter logic. And then what did the person say? Even it was not Jesus, but the person was saying, well, I don't know if he's a sinner or not, because they were all saying he's a sinner. Who healed you is a sinner and all that. And he said, I don't know if he's a sinner or not, but I have the evidence here, right here. I was blind, and the parents, they then called the parents. What happened? Your son is being connected with this guy that is a false prophet. And then the parents came to confirm. How many testimonies have you seen with the parents coming to confirm and with the community coming to confirm? So in this case, you know, the parents and the community came out and said, you know, we don't know anything. He's our son, yes. We confirmed that he's our son. But we also confirmed that he was born blind, yes. And we also confirmed that all these years he has been alive, he's been blind. And, you know, this guy, we don't even know his name. So Jesus didn't have any benefit from it. Jesus was not gaining anything. He was not calling for offering afterwards. He was not calling for faith offering or prophetic offering. He was not calling for seed offering. He was not, you know, calling for $1,000, you know, per healing. He was not claiming anything. He just came as a servant. It was very clear. It was so what ensued after that was that it was logical that Jesus wanted to help this guy. We could see that logically. We could see that logically that Jesus didn't demand anything from the person. Jesus actually said, no, go and actually show yourself to the priest. Go and show yourself to the authority. Let them affirm you. You know, Jesus did everything so logically and explainable. And so it's not, Jesus did not act in an erratic way, the way most people who are, say, miracle workers today are acting. So if we want to say we are working miracle in the power of Jesus and the power of God, and that, you know, this, you know, so we cannot explain it since it's God's power and it's God that is working. But let's see the way God worked. The way God works is that it makes everything so clear, and his motives were logical. Is the action, the miracle itself might not be logical, but it's not counter logic. It's not counter logic, and people could explain it. They could see the situation, and they could affirm it. They could confirm it. They could, you know, they could verify everything. The same thing was with the woman that touched Jesus and got healed. The woman with the issue of blood. She came and got the miracle, and the same thing. Jesus didn't have any interest in that, and Jesus was not charging the woman. He was not connecting it with money, and Jesus was not, you know, he didn't have anything to gain. It was rather just, you know, being a blessing to this person. And so you examine any miracle of Jesus, you will see that they are explainable. They are logical in that sense. You know, who is to gain from it, who is to benefit from it, whose interest is it doing it. You know, we could see, and okay, somebody is saying they didn't get notification today.
No, I didn't get.
Nobody got notification today? Okay. Okay, sorry. I don't know why that, but thank God you are here.
I'm trying to find out.
So you can ask Kate to find out from them. So this is very serious because, you know, we think that since it is God doing it, it has to be illogical, and it has to be even counter logic. But it doesn't follow, because Jesus said, God said, especially with Paul, he said, add to your faith virtue. You need to add virtue and knowledge. He also said, add to your faith knowledge, then add to your knowledge virtue. So you need to add knowledge to your faith, not just have a blind faith, but bring out the knowledge and the verification of whatever is happening. We must have a knowledge base or a knowledge base, an explanation of whatsoever is happening. So yeah, okay. Everybody is saying they don't have notifications, so we have to write to Google, to Facebook. Let's all write to Facebook. They have their service, and tell them about it. So we've got to, so we don't just use the explanation that everything God is doing is illogical. No, I think God wants us to have faith with understanding, logical faith. What would make Jesus to say that if you want to go and if you want to go for a war against the enemy, that you must sit down and calculate all the cost and what's going to, that is logical right there. Jesus himself said this, not even Paul or any of the prophets. Jesus himself is telling us that no, we used to use our mind. We need to be logical sometimes. And then he said, if you are going to build a tower, the same thing, don't just jump on it and say by faith you are going to do it or God will do it. Even when he does miracle, clearly. For example, when like I said, I've used the example of that's a very, very clear example of the man that was healed, and then they said he was demon possessed because Romanus says he got the notification from Julie. So let's go ahead and invite our friends individually. So when we invite individually friends, then they get notification. But if you don't invite them, then they don't get, because there is no notification from Facebook. I think we should ask other people who have been doing live broadcasts these days if they have been having notification. Maybe it's not just us. Maybe it's all a problem with Facebook in general. So anyway, what I'm saying is that we shouldn't be using the excuse that since God is a miracle working God, that so it's explainable that people are doing irrational things. We should fight against irrational stuff. Irrational practices doesn't necessarily mean that it's God. Since something is unexplainable, is irrational or illogical, and we just say, because it's God. No, but I've found out that God is very logical, even in all his miracles, and that Jesus especially is very logical in his miracles, especially even if not logical in some miracles might not be logical, but the motives are very logical. But the one thing you also discover that his miracles and God's actions are not counter logic, especially when it comes to the circumstances and when it comes to the logic behind, the benefit. Who is benefiting from this? Nobody is asking for money. Nobody is twisting anybody's arms. Nobody is manipulating anyone. You could see clearly the logic behind why God was doing everything he does, that he wants to help people because it's love. God is love. This is all about love. And even whenever they asked Jesus to produce a miracle, you remember, to affirm himself, whenever the motive was in doubt, Jesus will always say, no, I will not do the miracle. Not that he couldn't do miracles, not that he couldn't perform all the miracles. He could perform the miracles, but he will always say, no, I will not do it. I will not perform any miracle now because you want to deal with my motive. You want to tempt my motive. You want to try my motive. You want to corrupt me. You want to corrupt me. And Jesus will not allow himself to be corrupted. And that is the purity that is differentiating the miracles we see today and the statements that we are hearing today from so-called men of God and from what Jesus did. Jesus had the power, for example, to turn that stone to bread. But why wouldn't he do it? Not because he didn't have the power, but not because Satan appeared to him as he knew that he is Satan. No, it was a thought that came to his mind. The same way Satan is tempting us today, that's the same way Jesus was being tempted by Satan. He was not coming to say, I'm Satan and now I'm tempting you. No, it's just like his own thought. All those thoughts were coming like his own thoughts, just like your own thoughts come to you also and tempt you. So when his own thought came, he recognized it as a temptation from Satan, and he would not do it. So I see the way people are doing miracles today. It's more about validity. They want to validate. They want to validate themselves. Not even God they want to validate. Is that I am the man of God. I'm the tough guy. I'm the most anointed here. You know, I'm the one that God listens to. I'm the one who has the power. It's all about power. It's all about validation. And that is all illogical. That is all not, you know, that's all even counter logical. Because if you are saying God is the one that is doing it, why you should remove yourself from the picture? If you are saying that this is all about God, so why are you trying to affirm yourself when Jesus would rather remove himself? He actually said that it is the evil and corrupt generation, what they say, the evil and corrupt generation that seeks for signs. So when people are coming to church and our churches are full of sign seekers and miracle seekers, well, you know, that tells me one thing. They qualify right under what Jesus said, that people who are filling our churches, they are not Christians, they are evil and corrupt generation. They are evil generations. We call them Christians, but God called them evil generations. If you are not seeking God for God's sake, if you are not seeking God to know him, to know his face, to discover him, to love him more, to become his image, to express his likeness, if you are not coming to church for God, but just for what you could get, or for miracles and signs, well, you qualify under what Jesus said. These are corrupt and evil generation. You know, these are not Christians. These are evil and corrupt generation. And so today, coming from that, I want you people to see that, how do we detect non-truth? I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you how this is done. This is the only way we could stop evil and deception in the African church, by bringing light. You must bring things to light. So what I did today, the whole day today, I was busy going through Facebook. I was busy going through what do you call it? YouTube. So on YouTube, I was discovering all kind of videos, and I'm just putting all these videos. There's maybe a time will come when I will talk individually about the personalities involved. But these videos, even though they are showing individual personalities, but it's not about personalities. Some of them, it's not about personality. It's just about what is out there, and these are just practical manifestation of practices that will, like a practical class, like a lesson class that will show you just how to use your logic. That in churches is full of illogical stuff, and even not only non-logical but counter logic. I have a lot of videos here, so let's start. Could you want to start from the last ones? Mm-hmm. Let's start from the last ones. Okay. Just put them there on the. You want the volume to be there? And put the whole thing on. Do the whole thing for the whole page. Full page. Mm-hmm. No, you are touching this, and the light is going on.
Primetime obtained a document which shows that Tilton organized his ministry as a sole proprietorship, giving himself access to all its wealth. In his personal loan application, Tilton's bank says he has $1.5 million in cash and CDs. Okay. He has access to $14
Can you start
million
again?
in treasury bills
Again, and it's not loud enough.
And take a look at this. Primetime obtained a document which shows that Tilton has organized his ministry as a sole proprietorship, giving himself access to all its wealth. In his personal loan application, Tilton's bank says he has $1.5 million in cash and CDs. He has access to $14 million in treasury bills.
This is a pastor in America.
At a cost of $40 million. That's in all $60 million in assets available to Tilton. And those are the ones he puts on the list. There's only his board to hold him accountable. So who's on the board? Tilton, his secretary, and his wife. We showed Congressman Pickle what Tilden said in his magazine and the facts
Can you
about
stop
how
it?
he lives.
That is,
Pause. So now this situation here, thank God for America, that America is a more developed country. Thanks to that, you know, people are able to, you know, just journalists, and they have watchdog. You have the mic for this. The watchdog teams. They have watchdog teams that are, you know, watchdog organizations. Just organizations who are watchdog organizations. This is not convenient for you. Just close it.